Hello everyone and welcome to Harv's World, where we are taking a look at the newest mod map on ModHub, Polesie by Krasek. And in true Polish map style, we don't start on our farm. At least we're not at a bus stop this time, but we are at a little mom and pop shop here, right next to the farm actually. So, with that said, this is a small Polish map that has 2 farms, 72 fields, forest area, missions, agricultural machinery store, well, I would hope so, 360-degree soil textures, that should be nice, selling points, 3 additional crops, alfalfa, rye, and triticale. It is seasons ready, and there are some additional sounds added to the map, especially around the water areas, beware. However, with this map you will need to install some mods. You will need the small shed by Driver 300, the small chicken shed by Sarny 317, the small cow shed with pasture by Driver 300, the pigsty by Carol, the farmhouse by Carol, small Polish house by Driver 300, the witchy well by Alien Jim, and buildings in the Polish style by Daniel X 321. So several mods that need to be installed. If you've done ModHub much at all in the past, you will know that those get automatically installed when you download the map, so no problem there. So, just coming into the farmyard here, I've already done some peeking around. Everything is opened up. Now, I will tell you, you are going to be much better served if you start with as farm manager or start from scratch, and I'll tell you why. So let's go to our menus and take a look at what we've got here. So the land area on this map is this right here, and in New Farmer, which we always start on, there are 2 farms, but we own them both up front. This is one of the farms where we're at right now. Across the road is the second farm right here. Then we've got 2 very small fields, 67, 10, and actually there's 1/3 field down here, 59, this little strip right down here. It's almost big enough to run your combine down. But, you know, all of that put together, let's see, 20,000, 31,000, 46, 50, 57,000 basically for all of that. That's what you're looking at as far as the value of all of your lands. And adding in the buildings isn't going to give you much more money. So, you know, if you were to try to sell this off, you have your 100,000 starting new farmer with equipment. You're going to get less than maybe total 125, 150,000 to sell all of this off. And then if we go in and look at our starting equipment, we've got a favorite. We've got the Bison Super Z056, small Fort Schritt trailer header, the Qualidisc Farmer 3000, the Amazon Cedar, which is pretty traditional, a weight. We do have a cow shed, pig enclosure, chicken coop, barn, garage, small shed, and the witchy well. So all of that is maybe another couple 100,000 if we're lucky, real lucky. So the value of starting a new farmer is roughly $300,000 or so. And there's some fences scattered around that you could sell too. Whereas in New Farmer, you would be starting, or in Farm Manager, you would be starting with the 1.2 million. So, and that 1.2 million is going to take you a long, long way on this map because, frankly, field prices are dirt cheap, but then the fields are exceptionally small. So if we look at field 17 right here, what appears to be one of the larger fields on the map, 1.2 acres, less than $30,000. Field 31 right here, 1.6 acres, $40,000. The two largest fields on the map are actually almost map tall, thin fields right here along this right hand side, just over 2 acres. And you could buy each of those for one for 42, one for 51. And together those would only give you 4 acres. So if you are into small farming, if you really, really enjoy just doing the small farm thing, then this is definitely the map for you, because everything here is very small. You know, there's a lot to be said for small farms and small farming. It can be fun using smaller equipment, not pushing the limits of every piece of gear. You know, my Off the Grid series does just that. Everything is small. No massive equipment whatsoever, and it's fun. It can be very, very fun. Now, the plus side of all this is that, well, it's a small map. You can pretty much walk anywhere you need to go. That's the plus side. So here, you know, on our starting farm, or one of our 2 starting farms, we've got the small cow shed right here. Now, Animal Pen Extension does recognize this. We have the valves to set up for water. However, you'll need to go into the Animal Pen Extension XML and turn off the milk delivery system. Well, I mean, it automatically installs milk delivery right here, so, or milk pickup I should say, right here. So if you're wanting to use this to traverse your way into the cattle yard, your sale point is a little bit funky, but that makes sense because your milk collection point is right here. So yeah, it is what it is. Do with it what you will. Over here we've got our chicken coop, small chicken coop with a little extra storage. This is your chicken coop here with your water and grain to feed your chickens. Chicken feed, I should say, I guess. And then if we go across the road over here, kind of diagonal, well, we own a second farmhouse here. And again, we've got some more storage. And this would be our pigsty here. Feed trough. And water would be right back here. So, that's pretty much your starting farms, plural. If you don't want both farms, well, you could sell one off. Do with it what you will. You don't want pigs. This is the Witchy Will by Alien Jim. This is actually bringing you in, or bringing in money for you every hour the minute that you start playing. It's one of those money-making placeables. If you don't know about money-making placeables, I do have a video explaining them and giving you a lot more information about them, so check that one out. Okay, with that said, there are 3 new crops on the field: rye, lucerne, and triticale. And in the map description, they're calling lucerne alfalfa, so don't get confused with that. On the map it's lucerne, in the description it's alfalfa. But that's neither here nor there. In fact, I don't want to go north because we're pretty much at the end of the map. Actually, yes I do, because there's one thing that I want to look at. Something that's not listed. And when I get there, we'll discuss sale points, because I forgot to go over those just a little bit ago. Now, I will say, for a small map, this is a very, very nice map. It's very well put together. nice details. One thing that you won't find just looking at your map, right here where we're sitting, this is obviously our forest area, but there's no marker for the wood sale point. There is no sawmill specifically, but this is your sawmill. So if you want to do forestry, you can come right here to sell your wood. We've got our markers here. This is our sale point, obviously. So our map maker does have that covered for us. It's just not made obvious on the map. Now, one other interesting thing about that map, or this map, is there's no BGA. So if you're looking to do work with the BGA, if you want to do silage, digestate, that kind of thing, you'll need to place your own. Nice little pond back here. And this is where the new sounds that our map maker has been talking about come into play. The water areas have a lot of chirping toads and frogs and things of that nature. And they're quite loud. So yeah, we'll just do a little bit of brief driving around, and I promised to take a look at those sale points and forgot. So we are looking at the Mlezksarina. That would be your dairy. I'm not going to pronounce these. You can read them as easily as I can, but we've got several sales areas. Privakarias 1 and 2, the Scoop Urka, the Sklep, Rajkach, it's Raj something, Scoop Valley, and the Strizek. And the Strizek will buy your silage, grass, straw, or grass, hay, and straw. Yeah, grass, hay, and straw. So that's effectively, that's effectively the barn. On any other map, that would be the barn where you would take your bales to sell them off, and we'll go past that. And then it's pretty obvious what your other sale points are. Now you do have, looks like lucerne or alfalfa straw here. I would expect that to be alfalfa hay, but it looks like alfalfa straw, alfalfa, rye, and triticale. And they do have sale points to take all of those new crops, so that's well set up. Then of course we've got the dairy that's buying milk. The store that we started at will purchase your eggs. And then there's the sale point for wool, obviously going to be the spinnery. We have a root crop sales point specifically for root crops, and then a couple different places to sell your grains. So there are some options there. And let's just take a brief look around. We'll do a quick flyover and call it a day. Like I said, this is a very good looking map. It's been well put together. It's got a couple little areas that are kind of village-like. We're back to our starting farm right here. And we'll just head pretty much due south. Come up into another area right here that's sort of village-ish. And again, we've got our loud water sounds. Now this purplish field, this is going to be your lucerne or your alfalfa. That's a good looking field. I like that color. Mrs. Van Horn would be very upset. Very upset with that field. If you don't know who Mrs. Van Horn is, check out my Ischia Farm series. She was quite the problem child. But now you can see we have not driven too terribly far from our starting farm, and we're pretty much at the end of the road. right down here, that's going to be it. That's all. So yeah, this right here is the end of the map. There is nothing more. Now you will see a lot of fields that look like they're accessible. Trust me, they're not. They just, you know how map makers do to fill out the edges of their fields, and they do look very good and very realistic, but unfortunately they are not accessible. Those would provide you with some very large fields, but alas, it is not to be. So down here we've got a couple other sale points. Obviously a tip in right here. And then the animal dealer is just up the road from this also. Yeah, so this is a first effort by Krasek as far as map making goes. And I'd say he's done a pretty good job. It's a respectable looking map for a fledgling map maker. But he kept it small. And I understand that. You know, people look at these maps, they get on, they want to play, etc., and that's great. But keep in mind the amount of work and effort that goes into these. Hundreds of hours and knowledge about so many different things is required. At one point I was thinking, hey, maybe I'd like to make a map. That could be fun. But it's not, you know, you need to know the 3D modeling to begin with. But then you also have to understand the programming. Just, there's a lot going on. And this is the bale sell point that we were talking about earlier. Bring your bales here, silage, hay, straw, whatever, and you can sell them. The big bale stacks are a pretty dead giveaway there. And then we are just coming across the road to yet another sale point. This is going to be our root crop sales. And again, the potatoes and sugar beet stacks over here are a dead giveaway. So I think we'll do just the briefest of flyovers. Take a look at this from the air and call it a day for Polesie. So, what have we got? Well, we've got our forestry area right up here to the north. And these are our primary fields right here in the northeast corner of the map. And these are those long strip fields, remember, that I was talking about during when we were looking at the prices. Yeah. And they stretch all the way down. But, you know, that quick jog and we're to the end of the map. That's it. So, if you love small farming, this is definitely a map for you. Absolutely, positively. And it's a good looking map. There's plenty to offer in a small package here. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think of Polesie? Our Polish map makers are nothing if not prolific. Many, many, many Polish maps. And they just keep coming. So they are giving us options. And options in Farming Simulator are always a good thing. And this is a very nice, well-made map. So I think that's going to do it for this brief map tour of Polesie. You've got a map this small, it's bound to be brief. I do appreciate you taking a look at this map with me. And until next time, take care.